Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So the CAT 2024 response sheet and answer key have been released and you can check it on student dashboard. With the help of your credentials, you can log in on the website, like with the help of your CAT login ID and password, you can log in on the iamcat.ac.in and can download the response sheet. And with the help of this response sheet, you can calculate your raw CAT score. Like for the attempted questions, for every correct questions, 3 marks will be added and for every incorrect questions, 1 marks will be deducted. Like that you can calculate your raw score. So basically this will be your raw score. Now if we consider the marks versus percentile for all the 3 slots in your CAT entrance examination. So coming to the very first slot, like if we consider the section wise score in the VRC, that is verbal ability and reading comprehension section, if your score is 48, in DILR if it is 36, in quantitative ability if it is 40, means overall if your score is 102, you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99.9 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 44, DILR score is 32, quantitative ability section score is 30, means if your overall score is up to 89, you can expect your percentile to be 99.5 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 40, DILR score is 28 and quantitative ability score is 27, means your overall score is 80. At that time you can expect your percentile to be 99 percentile. If your VRC score is 36, DILR score is 25, quantitative ability score is 23, means if your overall CAT score is 71, at that time you can expect your percentile to be 98 percentile. If your VRC score is 30, DILR score is 19, quantitative ability score is 18 and overall score is 57 in your CAT entrance examination for slot 1. At that time you can expect your percentile to be 95 percentile. If your VRC score is 25, DILR score is 16, quantitative ability score is 15. If your overall score is 49, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 90 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 21, DILR score is 13, quantitative ability score is 12, means if your overall CAT score is 40 for the slot 1, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 85 percentile. Then if we consider your 19 score for the VRC, DILR score 11, 10 score for the quantitative ability, means if it is overall 36, at that time you can expect 80 percentile in your CAT entrance examination. If your VRC score is 17, DILR score is 10 and quantitative ability score is 9, means if your overall score is 31, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 75 percentile. If your VRC score is 15, DILR score is 9, quantitative ability score is 8, if your overall score is 29, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 70 percentile. Now coming to the score versus percentile for slot 2, then if your VRC score is 50, DILR and quantitative ability score is 46, means if your overall score ranges in between 118 to 123, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99.9 percentile. If your VRC score is 42, DILR score is 40 and quantitative ability score is 41, means if your overall score ranges in between 103 to 108, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99.5 percentile. If your VRC score is 38, DILR score is 37 and quantitative ability score is 33, means if your overall CAT score ranges in between 92 to 95, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99 percentile. If your VRC score is 28, DILR score is 30 and quantitative ability score is 22, means if your overall score ranges in between 69 to 72, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 98 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 23, DILR score is 27 and quantitative ability score is 16, means if your overall score ranges in between 57 to 59, then at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 95 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 20, quantitative ability score is 13 and DILR score is 21, means if your overall CAT score ranges in between 47 to 49, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 90 percentile. If your VRC score is 18, DILR score is 19 and quantitative ability score is 12, means if your overall score ranges in between 42 to 44, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 85 percentile. If your VRC score is 15, DILR score is 17 and quantitative ability score is 10, means if your overall score ranges in between 39 to 40, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 80 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 14 and DILR score is 14, quantitative ability score is 9, means if your overall CAT score ranges in between 34 to 36, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 75 percentile. Now coming to the score versus percentile for slot 3, then if your VRC score is 48, DILR score is 46 and quantitative ability score is 48, means if your overall score ranges in between 118 to 123, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99.9 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 40, quantitative ability score is 43 and DILR score is 40, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99.5 percentile if your overall CAT score ranges in between 103 to 108. Then if your VRC score is 36, DILR score is 37 and quantitative ability score is 35, means if your overall CAT score ranges in between 92 to 95, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 99 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 25, DILR score is 30 and quantitative ability score is 24, means if your overall CAT score ranges in between 68 to 71, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 98 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 19, DILR score is 27 and quantitative ability score is 18, means if your overall CAT score ranges in between 55 to 57, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 95 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 16, DILR score is 21 and quantitative ability score is 14, means if your overall score ranges in between 45 to 47, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 90 percentile. Then if your VRC score is 12, DILR score is 17 and quantitative ability score is 11, means if your overall score ranges in between 36 to 38, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 80 percentile. And if your overall score ranges in between 32 to 34 percentile with 11 score in the VRC, 14 score for the DILR and 10 for the quantitative ability, at that time you can expect your CAT percentile to be 75 percentile for the slot 3. So basically this is the expected score versus percentile for all the 3 slots. Now on the basis of your raw CAT score, the normalization process for the CAT score is done and then the scaled CAT score is calculated. So here if we consider the normalization process, then it includes, so at the very first stage, the standard deviation and the mean for the raw scores obtained by the candidates of slot 1 is done. Then if we consider the step 2, in that next the standard deviation and mean for the slot 2 candidates is calculated from the raw scores. Then if we consider the step 3, it involves the calculation of scaled scores using the raw scores of slot 3 through standard deviation and mean. Then if we consider the step 4, finally the mean and standard deviation of the raw scores of all the CAT aspirants appearing in all the 3 slots is calculated. Then if we consider the next step, in that top 0.1% of the candidates in slot 1 is taken for calculation of mean for first slot. Then if we consider the next step, in that the top 0.1% of the candidates in slot 2 is taken for calculation of mean for the second slot. Then if we consider the next step, in that the top 0.1% of the candidates in slot 3 is taken for calculation of mean for the third slot. Now if we consider the next step, then in that the mean scores of the top 0.1% of the CAT test takers for all the 3 sections is calculated and using the following formula the scaled score is calculated for each slot. Then if we consider the last step, in that final overall score is calculated which will be the sum of the scaled score in data interpretation and logical reasoning, scaled score in quantitative ability section and scaled score in verbal ability and reading comprehension section. And in this way, the CAT scaled score is calculated. So in this way, the CAT scaled score is calculated. If you have any doubts, any queries in this, you can just let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the video.